The River Thames has not only shaped the geography of London, but also provided an important means of transport, trade and defence throughout the city's history. Here are 8 reasons why the River Thames is important to London. Ever since the Romans founded Londinium in 43 AD, the River Thames has provided important trade links with the rest of the world. Over the centuries, new wharves were built as shipbuilding flourished, and by the 17th century, the Thames was overcrowded with ships. It was so crowded that some of the ships coming into London had to wait for weeks to unload their cargo. To solve this problem, the first dock was built in 1661 below Tower Bridge. By 1710, London had become the centre of world finance and commerce. The River Thames is one of the main reasons that London became one of the richest cities in the world. Today, the River Thames is still the busiest inland waterway in the United Kingdom. For centuries, London Bridge was the only bridge over the River Thames, so boats were a popular means of transport. This first became regulated in 1510, when Henry VIII gave licences to watermen to carry passengers down the Thames. Today, there is still a river bus service that operates, although it's mainly used by tourists. The Woolwich Ferry, which can be traced back to the 14th century, also still carries passengers daily. In history, the River Thames provided defence for the inhabitants that settled around it. When the Romans first arrived, they built walls around 3 sides of the city, and the river provided defence along the southern side. Once bridges had been built over the river, they could be controlled to protect against invaders. Throughout history, many fortresses were built along the Thames to control who came down the river. Today, only 2 fortresses that still exist are the Tower of London and Windsor Castle. The River Thames is a source of drinking water. Even during Victorian times, when the river was at its most polluted, it still provided the city's water. Today, most of London's drinking water still comes from the Thames. Over the centuries, a number of different industries relied on the River Thames for their trade. These included paper makers, breweries and steel mills. There were also many water mills located on the tributaries of the River Thames, particularly the River Wandle. There is evidence dating back to the Iron Age that the River Thames was used as a place of worship and associated with deities and spirits. You can see statues of Old Father Thames at various points along the river, including the Embankment, Somerset House and Henley Bridge. Throughout history, the River Thames has provided an important source of employment for the people who live near it. A survey from 1598 showed that over 40,000 men earned a living on or about the river. Today, the Port of London Authority generates over 35,000 jobs and contributes more than £3.4 billion per year to London's economy. The River Thames and its tributaries have always been part of London's sewage system. Up until the mid-19th century, there was no other means of carrying waste products away from London other than dumping them into the Thames. Today, the Thames Tideway Tunnel is being constructed to stop sewage being dumped into the Thames altogether.